Yet another interesting weekend in America as Dungaroo's Ballgame became the most acquitted president in U.S. history. And Sunday brought even more fun as President Wait, Where Are We Right Now says that he's coming for your guns. On Sunday, Joey Cardboard Cutouts of Hearts in the Lawn came out and announced that he's calling on Congress to pass some common sense gun law reforms. And naturally, because everything is backwards and who cares about what someone's actually saying, he's calling for a ban on, quote, assault weapons, even though they kill considerably less people per year than other types of weapons. Handguns are the most deadly weapon in the United States by far, and even things like blunt objects like clubs and hammers, and even personal weapons like hands, fists, and feet kill more people per year than rifles or shotguns. But hey, who cares about that? Let's just ban everything. Joseph Marionette Garbanzo, Where's Hunty, Tony Bobolinsky, what's going on anyways, said that he also wants to eliminate immunity for gun manufacturers who, quote, knowingly put weapons of war on our streets. Oh. Just the idea of charging a company or making a company liable for what somebody does with their products, especially in the cases it relates to firearms, basically just makes firearms pretty much like unable to be a thing. That's like making McDonald's liable for you being fat. That's like making Krusty liable for you not understanding what a normal laugh is supposed to sound like. That's like making Hunty liable for when you feel a great pit of despair after you purchase one of his pieces of art of which he blew garbage through a straw and sold it to you for $10 million in exchange for access to the... Okay, anyway. That's like making a juice manufacturer liable for when their product makes you... Okay, they're not, though. Earth is strange. And of course, this announcement came on the anniversary of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting in Parkland, Florida. And of course, that's how they do it. They just find an emotional thing to latch onto, politicize it, and then use colorful language to hide what they're actually trying to push through. That would be extremely destructive and pretty much make anybody that's producing and manufacturing guns pretty much unable to do so because they would be held liable if somebody used it. Cool. That makes sense. In other news, because lots of literal laughs, who could have possibly seen this coming and wokeness is a disease, Minneapolis announced over the weekend that they plan to spend $6.4 million to recruit more police officers. Oh my God, who could have seen this coming? The tragic nature of this story is that this was completely and clearly obvious long in advance, and the fact that they let it even get to this point is nothing short of disgraceful and completely predictable by anybody with a brain. In the wake of the George Floyd protests and the unrest that follows, you saw police officers being demonized by public officials and slandered in the public square and just absolutely made a mockery of by the mainstream media outlets, causing hundreds of officers just in the city of Minneapolis to resign or quit or go on medical leave, obviously because they just didn't want to deal with this. It was not a good time to be a police officer. And as the wokest among us just called for defunding the police, the demonization and the removal of the police, all the criminals were like, yo, we ride at right now. Let's ride on these fools, smash, burn, grab, and take everything. And violent crime went up by a huge amount. You saw carjackings, physical assaults, murder, stabbings, all up across the board in Minneapolis. It's like no surprise. And they're just like, defund the police, it's more woke. It's just like, dog. And then here they are, spending $6.4 million to recruit new officers that are, I don't know, probably like not trained or getting back ones that already quit. You got, it's like, how do you not see this? It's so obvious, but whatever, that's how it is. Yo, Big Blue, good job, guys. In the shadow of all this wokeness, the largest police department in America, the one in New York City, was also criticized and flooded with more calls to defund the police, and crime in New York City went way up. I wonder if they had any similar happenings as a result of this. Yesterday, according to the New York Daily News, the MTA, also known as the Metropolitan Transit Authority, called on the NYPD to flood the New York City subways with 1,000 additional cops after a mentally ill homeless man went on a rampage over the weekend, stabbing 4 people and killing 2 of them. Now, this is no laughing matter. This is horrifying, absolutely horrifying, but it's just funny how all of these people, the ultra woke, we're all calling to defund the police, and it's just like the absolute tragedy of all of this wokeness and caving to the woke mob is that real human beings suffer the consequences of these decisions. Real people had to get hurt. Real people had to get stabbed. Real people had to get their cars stolen. Real people had to be murdered and had their livelihoods destroyed as a result of all this wokeness and caving to the woke mob. These people are clueless. They don't care about actual people. They just care about leading with their wokeness and showing their virtue. There's a mental health crisis. There's an opioid crisis. There's a variety of different crises in America, a lot of which that are extremely damaging and doing so much bad. Yet we're just shipping money overseas and arguing about Donnie Ballpark and just squandering taxpayer dollars, printing money into oblivion, inflating all of the currency, and just being as woke as humanly possible as the country and all of its greatest aspects just get destroyed in plain sight. Nobody cares about what actually is happening to people. They just care about being woke and destroying everything. And as much as I want to say it feels like Groundhog Day every day, apparently that's specious. So it just seems like every day we just see the exact same things over and over again and absolutely nothing is done about it. Yet somehow people that predominantly are on the left, people that are so woke, think that giving power to this exact same structure that doesn't know how to manage just about anything is the solution to all these problems that it causes. But all right. Over the weekend, the New York City MTA sparked backlash by posting on Twitter that it removed benches from subway stations to, quote, prevent the homeless from sleeping on them. Okay. And after they got criticized by thousands of people on Twitter, they just said that the tweet was posted in error. Yeah, sure it was. I wonder when people will realize that that's how the people in our government handle problems. They're like, oh, there's homeless people sleeping on the benches. And they're like, okay, remove all the benches for everyone. It's like, okay, is that the best solution? That's how the government thinks that you should handle things. That's how fools think that they should handle things. But let's give them more power. Let's give them more money. Let's give them all of our freedom. Yeah, they're better at handling it than us. They're experts. 6 weeks it'll come out that homeless people are sleeping on the floor in the subway station instead of the bench, and they'll be like, remove the floors, make everybody float to the subway. Oh, they can't float? Let's fill the subway with water and make people swim to the subway. It'll create good paying union jobs. All that water will have to be filled up. It'll create union jobs. We'll have to fill everyone. I can see Joey Baseman's statement now. This will create good paying 623 million Americans will be pulled out of poverty because of these good paying union jobs. Don't look down at me, Jack. Where I grew up in Scranton, we always, my father said, Joey, you filling up a subway with water so you could swim to the platform? Now, that's what makes America, America, Joey. I don't want my government to solve my problems. I just want them to hear me. Did your dad say that, Joe? And in other news, because everything is trash and I'm curious if I'm still residing on planet Earth, the state of Oregon is now promoting a teacher training program to, quote, dismantle racism in mathematics. What does that mean? Wait, what? The education department in the state of Oregon is promoting a training program that will offer, oh my God, that will offer a toolkit to help teachers, quote, develop an anti-racist math practice. Yo, what is occurring on the planet of Earth? What are we doing? Yo, my God, this article in the Epic Times is a banana sandwich. This course that they're encouraging middle school teachers to sign up for includes key tools for engagement and strategies to improve equitable outcomes for Black, Latinx, and multilingual students. Okay. According to the toolkit, one of the ways to achieve this goal is by, quote, visualizing the toxic characteristics of white supremacy culture with respect to math. What does that mean? Yo, this article is so well written. The alleged, quote, toxic characteristics include, among many others, focusing on getting the right answer, students being required to show their work, and, oh my God, and teachers, quote, treating mistakes as problems and by equating them with wrongness. Dog, what are you doing? Yo, we're talking about math. Math. This is the most insane thing I have ever seen, which I have said 712 times in the last 6 months. What is occurring? Wow, oh my gosh. Yo, oh my God. Yo, oh my God. Yo, it talks about getting the right answer, and it says, teachers are recommended to have students, quote, come up with at least 2 answers that might solve the problem. challenge standardized test questions by justifying other answers that other than the right one by, quote, unpacking the assumptions that are made in the problem. Yo, what are you talking about? This is math. What do you mean, two answers? Teachers are expected to learn to, quote, distinguish between a mistake and a misunderstanding because, quote, white supremacy culture shows up in math classrooms when addressing mistakes. Dog, no! Oh, yo, who wrote this newsletter? This is what they're trying to teach the children. Yo, are we paying attention? Oh my God, yo, oh! Yo, the workbook identifies the belief in objectivity as a characteristic of white supremacy, claiming that it is racist to believe that there is such a thing as being objective or neutral, and that one should, quote, assume that everybody has a valid point. One section of the workbook claims that, quote, only white people can be racist in our society because only white people as a group have that power. I'll see myself out.